When did making plans get this complicated? It's time to streamline with WhatsApp, the secure messaging app that brings the whole group together. Use polls to settle dinner plans. Send event invites and pin messages so no one forgets Mom's 60th. And never miss a meme or milestone. All protected with end-to-end encryption. It's time for WhatsApp. Message privately with everyone. Learn more at whatsapp.com.
Raise the rudders! Raise the sails! Raise the sails!
Captain, an unidentified ship is approaching. Over.
Roger. Wait, is that an Enterprise sales solution?
Reach sales professionals, not professional sailors. With LinkedIn ads, you can target the right people by industry, job title, and more. Start converting your B2B audience today. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started today at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
If you thought goldenly breaded McDonald's chicken couldn't get more golden, think Golder, because new sweet and smoky special edition gold sauce is here. Made for your chicken favorites at participating McDonald's for a limited time.
Hello and welcome to the Paddock and The Pavilion. Just over 12 months ago, England claimed victory in the inaugural Over-70s Men's Cricket World Cup, beating Australia in a memorable final at Wormsley. On today's show, I'm joined by England's captain on that historic day, John Evans, who looks ahead to the prospect of a follow-up to last year's hugely successful tournament, with the second World Cup scheduled for February and March 2026, after the England team's Silver Ashes tour down under. Also joining me is Murry Harrison, who played in the 2024 final and is hoping to be part of both the Silver Ashes and the World Cup in New Zealand. It promises to be an exciting year for the England Over-70s side, and here on the Paddock and the Pavilion, I'll be following all the action. Hello, John. How is the World Cup winning captain?
Yeah, all right. Thanks, Stephen. Yeah, I had a bit of a strange summer. I was going okay early season, and then we had an England trial at Froster, and I pulled a quad. I wasn't supposed to bat, and suddenly I had to, because one of the guys who was there for trial just told me he was number 11, and he told me he never batted for his county. So I sort of strapped my pads on and went in too quickly, and hadn't warmed up and stretched, and took a quick single and pulled a quad. So and after that, I struggled a bit with form, but it's just a bit better now. The last couple of games have been better.
How's the fitness though now?
Yeah, it's okay. I've joined a gym, and I'm off there today after the interview with you. So yeah, I'm sort of obviously, now that I'm a little bit longer in the tooth in the 70s world, I think I've got to try and make sure I'm very fit for Down Under.
Yes, Down Under. We're going to talk about that, and of course this 2026 World Cup as well. And we are recording 12 months to the day on the 11th of August since that World Cup win. And believe it or not, I've obviously on this laptop got Facebook open, and I just had a pop-up. There was a noise there for a second, and it was a photo of Nick Andrews, because it must have been a post I put on 12 months ago today. So can you believe that? Yeah.
We got a photo of the Three Musketeers, we called ourselves. We shared an Airbnb. Derek Tow, the vice captain, and Nick and Sally and myself and Jude, my wife. And once we managed to win the World Cup, we had a picture taken together with it. So three of us. So yeah, happy memories. But onwards and upwards, got to try and do it again.
Yeah. Last time we spoke, you were off going on a cruise with the wife. Where did you go?
Caribbean with some friends. Yeah, had a great time. Yeah, it was really good.
And you were also, when you came back, I think, going to attend the Gloucestershire dinner. And at that time, we didn't know Gloucestershire were going to win the Blast.
I know, and that was amazing. We went to that, and we didn't really know anyone. We sort of, it was a black tie event, and my wife and I sort of got to want to cut people. And then we had to look at the table thing, and we started down the tables. And when we carried on, eventually we found ourselves on top table. It took quite a while, and we were next to. I do know David Grapeney. We did a benefit for him at my club, and I was sat next to him, and we had the chairman of the county and the CEO of Gloucestershire, and a reporter, the presenter from Sky, who I'm very sadly I can't remember his name, and yeah, I thought, blimey, this is a bit, and anyway, they started doing a few presentations. I'm called up for a special award, and completely flummoxed I was. And I was sat next to with my back to James Bracey, and all the county lads were on the table. James' brother, I knew James anyway through he played against our club, and Sam, his brother, had played for our club, and so yeah, it was like stunning, and they gave me a little award, and I was interviewed by the fellow from Sky, who was brilliant. He did the whole thing, and I have to say that the whole evening was incredible, superb. It really was. So yeah, quite a shock.
Yeah, it proves when you go to these events, then the winners don't always know.
No, I didn't know. I had no idea. No idea. I thought, because obviously they'd made a thing about the fact that we'd won the World Cup, and I just presumed it was, just a bit of a reward going to the dinner to see the presentation. But of course, then they did all the presentation for the T20, and I have to say, I was so impressed with the Gloucestershire players. They were all very humble, and when they were interviewed, so yeah, it's a really good evening.
Also on this podcast today, we've got a guest from Canberra, Murry Harrison. As we were talking off air, the batsman, bowler, wicketkeeper, he does everything for the Australia Over-70s. And later in the podcast, he's going to talk about the upcoming World Cup in 2026. But to start with, I spoke to him about his reflections on the inaugural Men's Over-70s World Cup last year. Welcome back to the Paddock and the Pavilion, Murry.
Thank you, Stephen. My pleasure.
I hope you are keeping fit and well down under.
I am, but we are in the middle of our winter, and having been in England for the past two Australian winters playing cricket, and the year before that I was in New York, I'm actually suffering this year because it's the first winter I've spent in Canberra, so for some time.
Yeah, as I speak, you've got a sweater on.
Yes. No, it has been a bit of a shock to the system for me, having, as I say, I've been in England the past 2 years playing cricket. So.
12 months on, how do you reflect back then on the 2024 Over-70s World Cup when it was hot and sunny?
Oh, it was a wonderful event. To be honest, I'm involved in the preparations for the World Cup in New Zealand, and it's coming up reasonably soon in February next year. We're hoping to obviously put on as good a show as was put on in England, but oh no, I wouldn't have missed that for the world. No doubt you can talk about what went down and what we could have done differently, and we might have if we bowled first in the final, it might have been a different story. All that's water under the bridge. It was a great time. Wouldn't take it back for anything.
Yes, you said it in our last episode, which you featured. It was a magical experience.
Absolutely. Yeah. No. I mean, you pinch yourself at our age when you go out there playing for your country. When you're doing it in a World Cup and you're doing it, against England in a final. I mean, these are things that you thought of as a kid and never thought you'd ever do. So it's fabulous.
Should we feel sorry there for Murry, who's got a sweater on?
Well, possibly, yeah, because it's boiling here in England, isn't it, at the moment? And I'm sure, well, he did say, didn't he? He hadn't been at home in the winter. So looking at the Lions rugby, they've all been wearing a lot of clothes, haven't they? So yeah, I don't feel too sorry for Murry, because I think overall their weather is probably a bit better than ours.
Yeah, he's lucky to be sort of travelling every winter to sunnier climes, isn't he?
Absolutely, yeah. But of course, we've got that thing to look forward to as well. So we're very lucky as well.
Well, talking about that, let's hear again from Murray, talking about the current arrangements for next year's Over-70s World Cup. You also said that you were confident of another one, and you've just said on air that the next one's going to be in New Zealand. How did that all come about?
Yeah, no, New Zealand. As you probably know, I chair the over 70s age group committee in the International Masters Cricket Council, and New Zealand volunteered. They were keen to put their hand up. It wasn't a difficult choice to choose to go to New Zealand. The timing was interesting. I originally had it down for March next year. And as I think you know, the Australian 70s team toured New Zealand in March this year. We played a three test series against New Zealand, but that was deliberately a bit of a test run for them in terms of organising a tournament in Christchurch. We played a game on Hagley Oval in that series, which is just a magnificent cricket ground. Just a carpet outfield, beautiful flat deck. And they are hoping to have the final of the next World Cup on Hagley Oval. I don't think that's been confirmed yet, but they're certainly hoping to do so. But one thing we learnt when we were there in March this year is that March is a little bit too late in the year because there's too much dew on the ground in the mornings, and a number of the games we had to delay the start. So as a result of that experience, New Zealand decided to bring the event forward to the middle of February, which was a good experience. Would have been difficult if we'd gone ahead with the original plan. But no, we're very grateful to New Zealand for putting a hand up. They're working very hard at the moment. It's all systems go. Unfortunately, we've only just heard in the last day or two that Wales have pulled out of the World Cup, which is unfortunate. We respect their decision. I think cost and competitive. I think the guys who are putting their hand up, no doubt good cricketers, but they mentioned they had a couple of 80-year-olds in the squad. But I think cost is the main issue, and unfortunately they've pulled out. We are hoping though that we'll have the USA in New Zealand, which we didn't have in England last year. And we're looking at possibly other options as well. But this stage we've got 7 teams. There may well be 8. We'll wait and see.
Sorry to hear there about Wales, but you don't get any funding for this tournament, do you?
No, it's an issue for veterans cricket across the world. We are growing somewhat dramatically. There are World Cups and tournaments on all the time, and people have got to put their hand in their own pocket to fund these things. It is an issue that's being addressed at the IMC level about to what extent we can. I guess I don't know whether commercialise is the right word, but certainly seek sponsorship and marketing, and hopefully we might be in a position at some point in the future to help out. But it's definitely an issue.
Murray, have you got some provisional dates for the World Cup in New Zealand?
Yes, I think they're confirmed dates now. It's the 17th of February to the 5th of March next year.
And fabulous to be having the chance possibly to play at the Hagley Oval. England on their last test tour played there.
Yes, no, it's a test ground in Christchurch, and as I say, I was lucky enough to play there earlier this year, and it's just a carpet, absolute carpet, beautiful deck.
Great to hear from Murray then about the second Over-70s World Cup to be held in New Zealand, the chance to play at Hagley Park Oval.
Oh, that would be wonderful. Yeah, I mean, obviously it's only a chance because you've you've got to win through to make it there. Yeah, we got an exciting experience coming, waiting for us. Really, our squad, because not only are we doing the World Cup, we got a warm up against the Australians where we're defending the Silver Ashes on the way. So. Slightly curtailed compared with what we did last time in 2023, but that'll be a key part of the warm up for the World Cup. We would really like to defend both the trophies that we hold at the minute. Obviously,
It's going to be a long tour for the players.
it is. Yeah. We because of it, we've got permission to have an extra player with us. We've got 17 players in the squad altogether, because it's going to be pretty full on. But real fantastic to look forward to.
So will the Silver Ashes lead in straight away to the second World Cup?
Yeah. We arrive at the end of January in Adelaide and play. And whereas last time we toured Australia, or that side of Australia, the east side, quite a lot. This time it's just two centres because of the nature of fitting everything in. And it's Adelaide first and then Sydney with 3 ODIs overall, obviously warm-up games against States, and then straight from Sydney to Christchurch. And so whereas before, when we were out in 23, I don't know how many hotels we had, probably about, I don't know, I'd guess about 8. We're only having the 3 hotels this time, and not big long travels, because the second part of the Silver Ashes down under, we were coach play. The last 2 weeks of it was really full on. But this time we won't have long coach journeys, so that helps keeps the cost down a little bit. It's going to be nearly 6 weeks overall.
Just going back then to the World Cup, sad to hear the news about Wales.
Yeah. I'd heard rumours, because we obviously my county Gloucestershire, we play Wales, and they play in the county championships, and at one stage they were the strongest team in it, but quite a few of them, it was still a couple of really good players. I think are in their 80s now. And it's difficult. And some of them have done it before. So I understand where they're coming from, really. They've not had, whereas, we've been lucky, and obviously with the numbers, we've got lots of new 70-year-olds. So they've only had a few of those, but it is sad, because I know a lot of their guys, obviously, from playing them regularly, and it's a shame they're not going to be there, but I do understand why.
Over time, though, the tournament should expand. You think you'll get more countries? I mean, USA hopefully on board this time.
Yeah, I'm sure. It's interesting. Like countries like South Africa, they've got vets teams at the lower ages, and those have come through. And I'm guessing possibly West Indies as well at some stage. But it's they need the structure in their home countries to carry on playing, don't they? Because if you stop, that's probably a death knell for your cricket. You're not going to be able to pick it up at an older age very easily. I think that's one of the advantages we've got, is that we don't have anyone who's stopped playing cricket. They've all carried on playing for their clubs and their counties, and our structure is such that it does give us a big advantage, no doubt about it.
Funding is clearly a big issue, though, for seniors cricket, isn't it? Hopefully, going forward, sponsorship will come more.
Yeah, I mean, there is some sponsorship there. Each country tries to get a bit of sponsorship to pay sort of like match day fees. But actually traveling out there in the hotels is down to each individual person. And sadly, it does mean, I'm sure, that some people can't afford to do it. We're fortunate that all the bar one guy who sadly, Godfrey Lamb, had one or two little issues, and insurance for him was astronomical, and he's had to pull out of our squad, which is very sad because, in my opinion, he was the man of the match in the final with 4 stumpings and a catch. There is that element to it. But overall, everyone else seems to have been able to manage to do it from the ones we selected.
Hopefully, like last time, there will be some YouTube coverage so we can watch it in the UK.
I think there probably will be, yeah. I'm pretty certain that that's going to be the case, yeah.
Because that's also now important with the possibility of getting sponsorship if you're getting people watching on YouTube.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. Insurance may all seem the same on the surface, but having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like getting a speech from your third cousin's +1 at your wedding when you needed a speech from your best man. You wouldn't settle for just any speech, so don't settle for just any insurance. When it comes to getting the help you need, State Farm is the real deal. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
This episode is brought to you by Jack Daniels. Jack Daniels and music are made for each other. They share a rhythm in the craft of making something timeless, while being a part of legendary nights. From backyard jams to sold-out arenas, there's a song in every toast. Please drink responsibly. Responsibility.org. Jack Daniels and Old No. 7 are registered trademarks. Tennessee whiskey, 40% alcohol by volume. Jack Daniel Distillery, Lynchburg, Tennessee.
Listen. That's the sound of the fully electric Audi Q6 e-tron. The sound of captivating electric performance, dynamic drive, and the quiet confidence of ultra-smooth handling. The elevated interior reminds you this is more than an EV. This is electric performance redefined. The fully electric Audi Q6 e-tron.
Let's go back to Murray again to talk about Australia's Over-70s tour to New Zealand in March this year. How did the tour go playing wise for you and Australia in New Zealand?
We did very well. We had a strong team. I think New Zealand were keen to test themselves against us because I guess they think we're a benchmark along with England. We won the 3 games. I did okay. I made some runs in the last game on Hagley Oval, thankfully. But we won each of the games. We had, I think, a couple of games in the North Island before we moved to Christchurch, and we won all the games on tour. But the New Zealanders are good friends of ours. They're they don't like it when we call them our little brothers, but they participate in our national championships in Australia, so we get to know these guys pretty well. And as I say, the main purpose of this exercise was to give them some practice in Christchurch prior to the World Cup.
So will the World Cup be based in Christchurch?
Yes. There's a number of good grounds in Christchurch.
And team-wise, Australia haven't selected, like England, who have already selected their squad for the Ashes and the World Cup. That's not taken place yet for Australia.
No, we might be waiting some time actually, because I'm just one of many hopefuls at the moment who put a hand up. We've got to wait for the selectors to go through their process, but we have our Over-70s national championships on the Sunshine Coast in Queensland at the end of this month, and that will be obviously a testing ground for the selectors. But the other issue is that there are also guys who will be turning 70 next year who won't be participating in the 70s nationals this year, and they'll be participating in our Over-65s nationals, which is actually going to be held in Christchurch in November. And I think there's a bit of a thought that the selectors might even wait till after that event, so they get to see some of the guys who are turning 70 next year that they won't be able to see in our 70s nationals.
Australia getting some practice in New Zealand then?
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, we know they're going to be competitive. We've had 3 fantastic series against them where we've just managed to sneak out on top, and they beat us in the pool in the World Cup in England, and but we managed to sneak through in the final. So we know that they're getting stronger all the time. We know that. So hopefully we'll have to also try and keep improving.
I haven't asked you, have you been to New Zealand yourself before?
I have, and I've been very lucky since my wife and I retired that we managed to travel to different parts of the world. And I've got to say, that is, I think it's our favourite of all the places we've been. We did a coach tour with some friends, and it was half Aussies, half Brits, a couple of Canadians, and we had a fantastic time. Great banter between ourselves and the Aussies, and we had a Kiwi driver and tour manager, and we just had a fantastic time. And it was lovely not having to drive as well, because, on the coach, you just see all the scenery as you go from place to place. We did both islands. We did from right to the top of New Zealand down to Dunedin. And in fact, in Dunedin, there was a test match on. And in the morning, we were in the same hotel as the Kiwis. And at breakfast, I was next to Richard Hadley, getting me toast. And when we left Dunedin that morning for our trip, it snowed. And by the time we got back in the afternoon, it was shirt sleeves only. It was amazing. So, I think that the start was delayed a little bit in the test on that particular day. But by the end, they were sweltering in the heat. It was incredible. We went up on a train journey and there was snow on the top. So it was great.
Murray might need that sweater again when he gets to New Zealand.
It's possible. I mean, I think the weather there is a little bit more variable, like England, but hopefully at that time of year it'll be fine.
Since the last, since the World Cup win, John, who have England over-70s played internationally against?
I don't think we have, Stephen. Actually, We've had some celebratory games. We played Middlesex and actually lost to Middlesex, who also had a few trialists for the new squad playing for them. We lost a close game on a reasonably tricky wicket, and then we had a great game with Bishop Stortford. It was their, I think, 150th anniversary. Might have been 200th. I don't know. I think it might have been 100. I'm not sure which. We had a really good game there. Managed to win by about 10 runs. So yeah, that's the only games we've had since. And then we've had 2 trials to select the squad that's going down under.
Yeah, talking about trials, what was selection like? Were you actually on the panel? And are you still captain?
I've been very lucky that myself and Derek Tao, the vice captain, and we were told that they wanted to keep us in situ, and we were both involved with selection. Obviously, 2 experienced managers in Chris Lowe and Chris Watkins, and it wasn't easy. We had probably 40 plus really good players to pick a squad of 17 from, and it was tough. The selection meeting took about 2 or 3 Zoom calls, so it wasn't easy. And there's a lot of guys who would have been upset about the fact that they're not selected. We try to do it fairly and for the right reasons, but always there's someone who you're sorry to have to leave out, and that was difficult.
Did you have to consider the conditions in Australia and New Zealand picking the squads?
We certainly. I think they asked the World Cup squad, and I expect Australia the same, because we're playing for a fortnight for the Silver Ashes beforehand. Then I think they asked if we could have 17 rather than just 16 players in the squad, and that's the case. But we just picked what we felt was the strongest 17 from the 40 plus candidates. I mean, it was tough. I won't lie to you. It was tough trying to get down to the 17.
Shows the strength of over-70s cricket, though, doesn't it?
Oh, it's amazing, really. Yeah, incredible. And we are very fortunate in that in England that, we're all playing regularly, at least once a week. And most of the guys are playing twice a week. So, we are very fortunate. And we certainly had about at least probably 5 or 6 guys who've just made 70 or not even quite made 70 yet, but are 70 next year. So, hence slightly older ones like me have just rejoined the gym to make sure that, I can hold my own down there with these new youngsters.
So how many people who were in the squad in 2024 have made it for 2026? I know Nick Andrews has made it.
I think from the 2023 Silver Ashes, let me just make sure, there's 4 of us. There's myself, Derek Tow, Nick Andrews, and Steve Shepherd from Somerset, and that's from 2023. From the World Cup squad, I would say there's about half from last year's World Cup squad. We've lost a couple because they can't travel this time. Mickey Stafford and Godfrey Lamb from Worcestershire sadly aren't able to join us, and they would have been selected. But as I said, there's new guys who have come in, and we've still got quite a core of the ones who won the World Cup back in England last time.
One of that core was Nick Andrews, who's been a regular guest on this podcast, and I saw him in July at my own club ground at the Avenue March, and he scored a century for Cams and Hunts against Norfolk, so he's in form. Yeah,
and he's continued with that the last few games. I think Murray put a thing on his Facebook thing, and I also did, saying make sure you save a few for Down Under. So he's had a good season, Nick. We've become good friends over the years, and we're due to play Wales over-65s in a warm-up, and Nick and Sally will stay with us, and Derek. I can't unfortunately put more up than that, so other guys will be frantically looking for a hotel. We're playing Wales 65s on the 9th and 10th of September at my club at Froster in Gloucestershire.
Interesting you're saying then about Murray and Nick, following the scores, because I found that out because when I spoke to Murray, he knew that John Evans had got some runs.
Yeah, it's been a while coming. I started off the season okay, and then pulled a quad in the first trial. I won't bore you with the circumstances, but I was very frustrated about it, and then I just went out of form, and I was starting to get a bit worried, and then I had a really, really dodgy 50, but it did mean I was out in the middle. I think it was probably the worst 50 I'd ever scored. That was the week before, and then managed to get a bit back to form in the last game. Yeah, so that is important to me. I don't want ever to be a captain who doesn't deserve his place, sort of thing. So so I was quite relieved, really.
Well, let's get back to that man in Canberra, the Australian over-70s batsman, vice-captain, wicket-keeper, bowler. He does everything for the over-70s.
Yeah.
And hear more from him. You've also got the Silver Ashes, I think, before the World Cup.
We have. It's a big, it's quite a mouth-watering summer. As I say, I'm just one of many hopefuls trying to get in the team at the minute. But I'll certainly be trying hard. It'll be great fun. I have to, I guess, own up to the fact that I probably think this is my last shot at the big time. I'm not going to make the next World Cup after that, I don't think, or at least I'll be pushed out by the younger guys. So I'm certainly keen, but it's all in the hands of the selectors as we go through the process this year.
Do you think that quite a few of the players that played over here in the 2024 World Cup will be playing again in 2026?
Well, I think so. Yes, a couple of them have already retired. Kevin Lanigan, critically, who was the captain last year, Kevin has retired from veterans cricket. I'm not sure about Ian Southall. I think he might have retired from international stuff as well. So there will be certainly turnover, but I'm sure the bulk of the squad that was there last year will be putting their hands up for selection this year.
Well, let's hope you get selected. It sounds like a very big summer for over-70s cricket in Australia.
Oh, it is indeed. I'm looking forward to it. As I say, it's been very cold. It's been quite difficult to train here in Canberra. We've been doing a lot of indoor stuff, but the serious stuff starts at the end of this month at our national championships in Queensland. So.
Well, best of luck with that, Murray, and hopefully you get selected when we can catch up again to talk about the World Cup and the Silver Ashes later in the year and in the early part of 2026.
Indeed, thank you, Stephen. I suspect even if I'm not selected, I'll because I'm the chair of the committee, I'll probably be at the event anyway. But we'll see how we go. I don't know if you're planning to be able to get to Christchurch for the World Cup, Stephen. You haven't thought about that?
No, I'm going off to the men's Ashes, but I hadn't thought about the over-70s World Cup. It's a lovely place to go to, though, New Zealand.
Just a couple of months extra holiday. You'll be right.
That would be nice, yeah. Anyway, thanks again, Murray.
No trouble.
Let's hope Murray is there, though, John.
Yeah, I love Murray. He's a real good bloke, real competitor, but we enjoy a beer after the game, whatever happens. And, I'm pretty certain he'll be there. Don't we worry.
For an Aussie, he keeps going on about the weather a lot, doesn't he?
He does, yeah. I'm not sure what the weather in Canberra is like then this time in their winter, obviously. But looking at the Lions rugby tour, they were wrapped up and wasn't too good in Sydney, was it, for the final test? So
no, they were snow in New South Wales as well.
Right. Okay. Right.
It doesn't seem too bad though when he's talking about playing cricket in at the Sunshine Coast, does it?
No, that was our first experience. We went from I think -6 in January 2023 in England to 36 and high percentage of humidity in the Sunshine Coast, and it was a bit of a shock really because we also had to wear helmets to start with, and I was opening the baton, and I've only worn a helmet about 4 times in my career when we were playing someone a bit sharp from overseas, perhaps, and I struggled with it. I mean, I remember that after the first game, a load of us found a supermarket and were buying out headbands. It was like trying to stop the sweat going in your eyes, and so, they're obviously a bit more used to it than we will. Going from -6 to 36 was a real shock, and the wickets were also not what we thought we'd get. They were a bit stoppy and poppy in the Sunshine Coast, but obviously they'll be more used to it. And I think they'd had a lot of rain. We played at one ground, Gympie, where they told us the water level was unbelievable. It was over the pavilion, over the whole pavilion, over a tree next to the pavilion, which was twice as high as the pavilion, and up a hill towards primary school, and in the primary school, which was up the hill. So the local river had, just swollen, and I think the flooding around that part of the world is becoming quite pronounced.
But preparation when you get out to the Ashes and for the World Cup is going to be very important.
Yeah, well, we got plans. As I said, we've got we're playing Wales over-65s at Foster for 2 days, two games in September. We've got nets booked and a get together for November. and we'll probably try and do another one in early January before we travel over. Then we've got we'll have nets out in Adelaide, and we'll have a couple of I think 3 games before the first ODI in Adelaide. So we'll endeavour to be as on top of a game as much as we can be.
So you're not just playing golf like the England test team then? They don't like us saying that anyway, but...
Oh, do they not? No, I'll make no comment on that one then, Stephen. But no, we're not. I mean, I'll be playing a bit of golf myself, but with my friends, but no, not as a team or a group. No, we will be trying to do a bit of, keeping the muscles and the eyes working, yeah.
But for now, I better let you go because you've got an appointment at the gym.
Yes, I have.
Thanks very much for looking back at the inaugural Over-70s World Cup on the 11th of August 2024. We're recording on the 11th of August 2025, and for looking ahead to the Silver Ashes and the 2026 Over-70s World Cup. Thanks again.
Yeah, pleasure, Stephen. Exciting times for all of us, and thanks for your interest. And nice to hear Murray too. Cheers.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Popsicles, sprinklers, a cool breeze. Talk about refreshing. You know what else is refreshing this summer? A brand new phone with Verizon. Yep, get a new phone on any plan with Select Phone Trade-in and My Plan. And lock down a low price for 3 years on any plan with My Plan. This is a deal for everyone, whether you're a new or existing customer. Swing by Verizon today for our best phone deals. 3-year price guarantee applies to then current base monthly rate only. Additional terms and conditions apply for all offers.